So, whilst I was trudging my way through the murky regions of the internet, I happened to come across a channel. This channel went by the name of Billy Blogs. After looking through some of its content, I decided I would address one of its videos pertaining to the scientific method. So, let's take a look.
Hi folks, this is Jay. Hope you're okay today. I just want to share with you a few thoughts and I hope it's a help to people. And it's John 7:17.
Oh, I just know this video is going to be very intellectual, as you often claim to be, considering you're starting your video with a quote from the Bible.
And I just thought it was an interesting thing. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine whether it be of God, or whether I speak of myself. If any man will do his will, he shall know of the doctrine whether it be of God, or whether I speak of myself. You know, modern humanity from the Enlightenment to the present time has prided itself on, in quotes, the scientific method.
Yes, it has prided itself on the scientific method, and you know what? It has done with very good reason. The same reason that you can sit so smugly behind your webcam and talk about this topic with such ease. The scientific method works. How do we know it works? I hear you cry. Well, first let's take a deeper look at what the scientific method is. First, let's take a look at one of the greatest minds that our species has ever been gifted with, Richard Feynman. We'll let him explain just what the scientific method is.
Now I'm going to discuss how we would look for a new law. In general, we look for a new law by the following process. First, we guess it. Then we well, don't laugh, that's really true. Then we compute the consequences of the guess to see what, if this is right, if this law that we guessed is right, we see what it would imply, and then we compare those computation results to nature. Or we say compare to experiment or experience. Compare it directly with observation to see if it works. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Feynman. Wait, doesn't this all seem a little silly? We make a guess about what's true? Why, that doesn't seem scientific at all. Bullshit. Almost every guess we make about reality will be wrong, and the way we know this is wrong is by figuring out what this guess implies and comparing what it implies to actual reality, through measurement, observation, and inference. If it doesn't fit with something we can observe in reality, it is simply wrong. There is nothing more to it. Now, this tool is extremely powerful. As I'm sure you'll agree, the scientific method is responsible for almost every luxury you have in your life, from your mobile phone, your television, laptop or computer, even as far as the house you are living in right now. Think about it. How did the first people figure out how to build houses? Well, they made guesses. They probably failed a multitude of times due to the fact their structure was unstable for certain reasons such as the force of gravity, the center of mass of an object, and a multitude of other variables. But eventually, they will get a stable structure that sheltered them from hostiles and the harshness of the environment. This, in its purest form, is what the scientific method is all about. The scientific method, put simply, is a way of discerning unproven pseudoscience from what actually exists within reality. Remember, if there's no evidence for it, and there are other possible answers with also no evidence, then these guesses are all just as invalid or as valid as each other. As I'm sure you would argue that your God is the one true God due to the type of videos you make, you should really reconsider your stance. At the moment, there is no evidence pertaining to the existence of a supernatural being. Furthermore, everything we see around us that has been explained has not needed the addition of a supernatural being to the explanation. And just because we haven't figured out the beginning of the universe does not mean the Judeo-Christian God was responsible for it. This is a guess that is completely unscientific and completely void of any basis in reality. Now, let's take a further glance at your God. I always see these people kneeling down and exclaiming how good and wonderful their God is. So, now we know what the scientific method is, and how it is a way of discerning reality from self-imagined delusion. Let's take a look at this hypothesis. Let's begin. God is good. Ah, yes. A wonderful guess, considering how the topic is talked about so often. I'm sure there is no way to deny it, so this God, where could we obtain more information about him? Oh, I know. How about the book you guys use as the basis for all of your beliefs, the Holy Bible, of course. Now, considering your apparent study of theology, you know exactly what I'm about to say. In Genesis chapter 7, verse 21 to 23, "And all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of fowl and of cattle, and of beast, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. And in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land, died. And every living substance was destroyed, which upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle, and the creeping things, and the fowl of the heaven, and they were destroyed from the earth. And Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark." So, an omnipotent God had no other choice than to kill everyone and everything on the planet to rid the world of evil and sin. If it was evil he was concerned with, maybe a simple education would have helped prevent the world from this so-called sin. No, the only answer was mass genocide. I can see why you people love your God so much. Even your Messiah, Jesus, approves of this message put across from God. Matthew chapter 24, verse 37 to 42. "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, one shall be taken, the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know what hour your Lord doth come." Now, these people don't come across so wonderful today. Well, you can judge for yourself. Now, the Bible is the only book of accounts that claimed of intervention from your God, and of everything that Jesus supposedly said. So you can't pick and choose what is true from what isn't true, as you only have one source from which to obtain your information. Now, within the boundaries of what we consider good in society, this certainly isn't it. And I'm sure if a mass murder managed to kill even a few people, most of us would agree that he is not good. But this God goes to an even greater extent and kills everything on the planet. So, we can now conclude that our guess was wrong, and God is in fact not good. Now, I don't believe in your God, so I'm not trying to personally offend or ridicule you in any way. I simply want to bring to life the ignorance of your beliefs. So, to address the title of your video, "Stop hiding behind the scientific method," I have one simple answer. No. The scientific method is our only way to discern fact from fiction. And some scriptures written by Iron Age peasants don't even come close to describing such a reality. So to abandon this method would simply be irrational. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to me if you want me to keep putting out videos like this, as it really helps with the encouragement. Thanks.